that Ghana indeed needs its destiny to be urgently reset. Your Excellency, on March 6, 1957, 68 years ago, when I first entered secondary school, the Gold Coast became an independent sovereign state called Ghana. And when Osajbo Kwame Nkrumah declared that our beloved country, Ghana, is free forever, he genuinely and passionately believed it. In his brief years of leadership of this country, he demonstrated clearly that he had come to reset Ghana's destiny. His purpose was not just to liberate Ghana politically from colonial domination and exploitation, but to build a self-confident country capable of managing its own affairs politically and economically.
There are a few conditions that allow the country to define and pursue a homegrown vision and a strategy of its own. Today, South Korea is one of the world's leading economies. But the global landscape is shifting, and we need to shift with this. Recent policy shifts, including those of the Trump administration in the US and other several European countries, have introduced uncertainties into the prevailing development aid architecture. Above all, the global financial architecture is failing to meet Africa's needs. It needs a fundamental overhaul to be fit for purpose for today. Ghana has been part of a strong coalition of countries, institutions, and advocates pushing for African priorities in the global financial system. The coalition has had some success, but we must not wait for the world to solve this problem for us. No country has developed on the back of aid alone. It is time to look inward at how to raise revenues and fund our own development so that our dependence on external finance does not continue to hold us back. Our private sector can be a key contributor as instruments such as blended finance and public-private partnerships offer great untapped potential.
And the resilience of our collective unity and purpose. This is an ample demonstration of our ability to put aside our differences when the national duty calls and bind us together in search for answers to the problems that confront us as a country. Today's gathering and the subsequent consensus that will be forged from these stimulating discussions will follow and will lend us the opportunity to be able to put together a policy that will guide all of us. This is a proof to the old saying that adwen onyinimpa kroni tirim, to wit, knowledge does not reside in the head of one person. I wish to acknowledge the chairman of the organizing committee, elder statesman, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, and the distinguished members of the committee for working tirelessly to put together this important dialogue. It is with great anticipation that we embark on this first national economic dialogue in over a decade, a pivotal moment in our national history. This dialogue is not only a significant and defining moment, but it's also an important reenactment of our history.
It is my great pleasure and honor.
Do Ajaho, Chairman of the Council of State, members of the Council of State, fellow countrymen, ladies and gentlemen. Solution-driven discussions about the challenges we face and the opportunities before us. Our nation stands at a pivotal moment, and the choices we make now will determine the trajectory of our economy for generations to come. As President, I have the honor of leading the conversation on the theme, Resetting Ghana, Building the Economy We Want Together. This theme reflects our shared commitment to creating an economy that is resilient, inclusive, and built on sustainable growth. It is an invitation to all stakeholders to contribute their expertise, ideas, and dedication to this national effort. Ghana is at a critical crossroads in its economic development. The challenges before us are stark, and the economic distress we face are undeniable. However, our collective resilience, ingenuity, and determination have always been the driving force of our nation's progress. We are not here merely to recount our struggles, nor are we here to resign ourselves to economic stagnation. We are here to seek solutions, to adopt strategies that will put us on a sustainable growth trajectory, and to ensure that we build an economy that works for every Ghanaian. For me, this is not just another policy discussion. It is an urgent call to action, a crucial moment for us as stakeholders to unite with purpose and resolve the challenges that face us. We've gathered here to create a powerful platform where government officials, policymakers, business leaders, economists, industry experts, development partners, and other key figures come together to shape the future of our nation. The insights, diverse perspectives, and actionable recommendations that emerge from these discussions must transcend theoretical frameworks and drive real, impactful decisions that will guide our national economy forward. Throughout our engagement, we will focus on practical strategies to restore macroeconomic stability and pave the way for long-term economic transformation. This includes developing policies that stimulate growth and create sustainable job opportunities for our rapidly growing population. We'll also examine the structural reforms that are necessary to unleash the private sector's potential and make it truly the engine of growth that drives job creation and innovation. Strengthening economic governance institutions will be a key topic of discussion, ensuring transparency and accountability at all levels of government, while taking decisive action to combat corruption and other things that hinder our progress. It is vital that as we move towards a more prosperous future, and that the economic gains we achieve are distributed equitably, leaving no one behind and fostering inclusive growth that benefits every sector of society, from the most marginalized communities to the industrial leaders of tomorrow.
Very much. On the financial sector, ladies and gentlemen, the President again played to the gallery by stating that, and I quote, "The financial sector continues to struggle, despite the previous government reportedly spending 29.9 billion Ghana cedis on the financial sector cleanup exercise to date," unquote. Typical of NDC's usual sweeping statements, he made this conclusion without providing any basis. Whilst we sympathize with those who were adversely affected by the financial sector cleanup, the exercise was well intended to protect the banking industry from collapse, protect depositors' money, and revive the economy. The evidence today shows that, notwithstanding the DDEP effects on the local banks, the financial sector has become stronger, with banks posting impressive financial ratios and returning to profitability. This is the true state of the financial sector in Ghana. The Bank of Ghana's recent publication, Summary of Economic and Financial Data, January 2025, provides very rich information about the performance of the financial sector. The annual growth in total assets of the financial sector, as at the end of 2024, was 33.8%, and total deposits by 28.8%. Similarly, in terms of liquidity, core liquid assets to short-term liabilities grew by 46.3%. The capital market shows similar strong performance, with the GSE All-Share Index year-to-date growing by 56.2% by December 2024. The earnings and profitability ratios also show that return on asset before tax recorded an annual growth of 5.4% in December 2023 and 5% in December 2024, whilst return on equity after tax grew at 34.2% in December 2023 and 30.8% in December 2024.
This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Good Morning Ghana here on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. As I always do say, we are always happy to know that you wake up every morning, you tune into the show because of the quality of the conversation that takes place here. And we'll always assure you that we'll deliver on that promise all the time. My name once again is Moro Aldo, and what I usually would say is that we thank God for being alive and kicking and to come your way once again with another edition of the show. Before I introduce my resource persons, let's straight away look at what the front page stories are. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Daily Graphic newspaper reports this morning. It says, Mahama sounds alarm. Economy needs radical overhaul. Resetting economy. Dr. Yamson calls for fresh start. None of Agenda 111 Hospitals Operational Health Minister. E-Transact Ghana to drive digital payments future with advanced solutions. The Ghanaian Times. Southern Ghana to experience heavy rains March-June with potential floods. GMET. Man allegedly kills girlfriend, buries body in septic tank. That's very dastardly, very sad. National Economic Dialogue, how see through all proposals, President assures. Daily Guide, we're back to Dumso minority. NPP left over 5 billion cedis in buffers. Amin Adam. Jachi Kwesin to no fate March 27. Government must improve delivery on promises. Ibn Chambers. The New Crusading Guide. Galamsey threatens food security. Birim fetish priest predicts. Civil society groups mount strong advocacy against sugar smuggling syndicate. Minority tackles Mahama over true state of nation address. Brutal murder at Takwa Nabwoso, NDC deputy women's organizer, fingered. The Inside newspaper. The unbroken spirit of the great Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah commemorating the 59th anniversary of first president's overthrow. The case for Women's Development Bank, a necessary initiative for economic growth. Tension in Chebi as Ochihine's outdooring of new vigilante land guards causes uproar. Day of Shame, full text of public lecture delivered by Dr. Libo on Africa and China in effort to construct a new world. The perspective of Mao and Nkrumah. The New Republic. After landing Ghana in 721 billion cedis debt crisis, NPP runs from shame. Party leaders ducks out of economic dialogue in a hasty retreat. Mahama kickstarts dialogue, calls for ideas, to lift economy from the ashes to growth. Bank of Ghana pulls plug on mysterious gold for oil scheme. National Economic Dialogue sets bold agenda for transformation. The Daily Post. Soon to be established gold board to take over our gold purchases role. Bank of Ghana. National Economic Dialogue 2025 opens. National Economic Dialogue 2025. That's on the front page of the Daily Post. The Economy Times. Rolled over cocoa sales contracts deprive Ghana benefits of a production rebound. Government committed to develop Athena 1X as it holds substantial gas amidst unitization withdrawal. Bridging the funding gaps, economists suggest key areas to consider to execute Mahama's initiatives. When I come back, I'll be introducing my guest for the show this morning. Please stay with us.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Judy said we use a Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's here. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasa. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling to Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story.
But he needs not stay down for long.
Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
In an era where fire safety is paramount, Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited stands out as a leader in the development of innovative fire dousing solutions. With a focus on aqueous film forming foam, the company provides a cutting-edge product that significantly enhances fire suppression capabilities across various sectors, including maritime, industrial and emergency response.
The oil and gas sector, along with chemical manufacturing facilities and fire services.
Kabori's advanced film technology offers a more efficient and environmentally responsible alternative.
Kabori is recognized for its superior extinguishing capabilities and prolonged resistance to reignition. Kabori's product is certified by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nigerian Standards Organization.
Kabori Film Compound Limited is situated in Nsawam within the eastern region of Ghana. For inquiries, reach out to them on 0245 885 288 or 0244 514 048. You may also contact them via email at info@kaborifilm.com. Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited, providing film compound solutions to help institutions.
Ama, nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu ni me into kwankwa. Oh, you right. Enye mo ko. Give us JC lecture and any capsules. Ah, ye num boom. En ho asem na mo kana. E boa emma ene meme nyina. Na ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya, we be boa wuku. Ama ne giant sa wo de shele botum. Na wanyinya na nim ti sese ni oyi chokmo. GC mixture, MN capsule, Achesa.
A painful about one more menu for one kwada when if you do me Achesa.
Look around.
Home also need a makeover.
Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashfoam store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashfoam, feel it, know it.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOT, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. This show is also live on Facebook. That's on Good Morning Ghana. If you want to watch us on Facebook, please check Good Morning Ghana and you would find that. We're also live on Facebook on Metro TV Ghana. On YouTube, we're live on Metro TV Ghana. And also, we're live on DSTV channel 277. We're going to go straight ahead and look at the big stories that's making the rounds in the newspapers. And joining us this morning, one of our guests is here, Dr. Thomas Anaba, who is the MP for Garu and also former director, Ghana, that's the Accra Regional Hospital, which is right here behind us. He's joined us now. Honorable, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Moro, good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. Happy to be here today.
Good.
At least in a month that I think both religions, dominant religions in Ghana, are observing some special events.
Right.
So let me reach out to my brothers, sisters, and our mothers, the Muslims, for observing Ramadan. A fast to pray for God's forgiveness, protection, and leadership. And also, they should pray for good leadership in Ghana, for Muhammad to be able to bring the reset to bear in our homes. Let me not also leave out the Catholics.
Right.
Tomorrow, they will be observing the Ash Friday,
right.
Where they will also start their fasting.
Okay.
So it means that coincidentally, both Muslims and Catholics will be fasting this month.
Right.
It means this month is really a month,
special one.
A special one. And it is also our Independence Month.
Right.
So we pray that all these three things come together
to
improve the lives of Ghanaians. Their prayers would bring about some stimulation into leadership to be more transparent, to be people-centered, and also to try to manage the economy in a way that we'll all feel it in our homes and in our pockets. Special greetings to the good people of Garu, the chief imam of Garu, and all the Muslims in Garu, and the Catholic fathers. Special greetings to them. I wish them all the best this month, and that their fasting would yield the intentions for their fasting would yield the needed results for Garu and Ghana as a whole.
Yeah, you talked about the month being a special one. The only thing you left out was the fact that a special friend such as myself, who is also doing Ramadan, you left me out. You didn't give me any specific special, acknowledgement and saying that I wish you well. Oh, Doc, why did you do that to me?
I'm here with you, and I've already wished you well as one of the Muslims. And me, I grew up in a Muslim community, so I know how it goes.
Yeah.
My colleagues, when they are fasting, what we do to accompany them and the rest. That's why today we are all going to be on this set talking.
You mean today you won't drink water?
No, we won't drink water.
You eat your favorite food.
Give you some support.
As a way of solidarizing with us.
Solidarizing with you. We need to solidarize.
Yeah.
If MPP was solidarizing solidarizing with NDC, I think things will move very well in this country. So we'll solidarize with you in your fast to make sure that at least you are able to do it well and pray for us. I'm a Catholic, so I'll be joining my fellow Catholics.
Is your constituents predominantly a Muslim?
No, they are predominantly Christians.
Oh, they are Muslim. They are predominantly Christians.
But they are Muslims.
So what's the how do you call it?
The proportion.
The proportion.
I don't have exact figures, but I think the Muslims should be around the 30%. The Christians should be around 50 to 60, and other people who don't believe in anything, and
traditional
those who practice our traditional way of worshiping God are also there. Right? But at the end, I always see that at the end, everybody goes back there to the traditional way. When they pray to Muhammad and pray to Jesus. And then when it becomes very tough, they are looking for the landlords and then the landowners to pour libation onto the gods, to invoke some spirits of their grandparents to come to their aid. So it means that there is some good connection between all the religions that we practice. So I don't see them to be separate. I see them all to be worshiping one God. It's just that it's the way they worship that vary. I don't think it's bad.
Typically during this month, you politicians would buy for your constituents, sugar, rice, Lipton, milk, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you sit and wine and dine with them during iftar. As a way of obviously solidarizing with them. How do you do yours?
Just like many people will do, even if you are not a politician. From the very Quran, it is said that if you can't fast, you can assist somebody to fast.
True.
So you could, if I don't want to fast the 30 days, I ask somebody, what is the budget you need to be able to fast? Then I give it to the person. In cash, something that can take care of the time that he's going to fast. It means that I'm supporting him to fast. It is there. It is in the Quran. So help your colleagues to fast if you know you can fast. If I know I have maybe an ulcer, I'm diabetic, I need to be on regular diet, eating regularly, and I can't fast, I ask somebody to support the person to be able to do the fast. And the blessings will also come to me. So I think in that sense, whether you are a politician, you are a corporate body, you are whoever, a group of people want to help somebody to fast, whether the Christians or the Muslims, it is good. You can help them to fast. After all, when they pray and things are good on earth, it's good for all of us.
True.
So I don't see anything wrong with it. It is the only thing that may not be acceptable is to take your office money and write a memo that you are taking money from your office to go and give. You give it from your own. Give it from your own. And if it is a company, everybody in the company should agree that we want to use this to support this group of Muslims community to be able to do their fasting and pray for it. That is acceptable. But from national coffers, I don't think it is.
I mean, look, if there's one of the biggest tests of a Muslim's commitment to the faith, it is during Ramadan. Because for you to stop whining and dining for almost 12 hours, for more than 12 hours, because it starts essentially, right now it starts about 4:45, up until say 6:15. That's more than 12 hours. You really have to have a deep-seated love and commitment for the religion to be able to do that. And so if you know of any Muslim who decides that this month they're not going to fast, then you can begin to question their level of commitment. I'm not going to say the person is not a Muslim, but you may then begin to question, especially if it's not on medical grounds. If it's not on medical grounds, or say the person is traveling somewhere and the nature of the trip is such that, you cannot, in all sincerity, be expected to fast. And so then you are pardoned. Once you arrive at your destination, you can then, do what we call the niyat. Then you can start a fast. But otherwise, you don't have any excuse not to fast. Unless, of course, you're also not of, how do you call it? You're not an adult.
Adult, yes.
But typically what we do is that we instill those values and principles in them at a very young age before they get to the point where they can start and they can do that on their own. But anyway, so enough said about our religious and social lives, and now we're back to business. And the matters about the economy is back to the front burner. And why? Because there's an ongoing economic dialogue which was launched yesterday at the Accra International Conference Center. The president himself was there, and quite a number of very influential per dignitaries were there.
Right.
But before I do that, let me say that the Good Morning Ghana program is, or the Blue Jeans energy drink is proudly associated with Good Morning Ghana. And I always do encourage you to have a taste of Blue Jeans energy drink because of the numerous benefits that it has for you. Blue Jeans energy drink, as we do know, has been on the market for 20 years and more. We already know what it does for the body. It contains many vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your energy and your strength, as well as promote high performance and endurance. So Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. We know it, we can testify it, we know it is good, it is absolutely fantastic. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. It's in shops nationwide. So for bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190, 0208 128 190, and 055 001 0000, 055 001 000. So, Doc, again, let me say that we're expecting Richard Anyagba, who is the Director of Communications of the NPP, to join the show. So, in the next few minutes, he'll be taking his seat. So, I'll start with today's Daily Graphic. Now, Daily Graphic reports about the ongoing economic dialogue. And it says, Mama sounds alarm, economy needs radical overhaul. Kesta Abraham Kranche of the Daily Graphic reports. And it says, President John Dramani Mahama has issued a clarion call for a radical transformation of the economy, emphasizing the need for collective action to address the country's deep-seated economic challenges. Delivering the keynote address at the National Economic Dialogue in Accra yesterday, President Mahama painted a grim picture of the current economic situation and pointed out the devastating impact of years of financial mismanagement, irresponsible borrowing, and reckless spending. We refuse to accept this as Ghana's reality. We reject the notion that economic hardship must be our norm. We refuse to surrender to the forces of stagnation and decline, President Mahama said. The National Economic Dialogue, which has brought together some of the most experienced and influential leaders from both the private and public sectors, provides a platform for stakeholders to engage in detailed discussions on critical areas of Ghana's economy. Now, the outcomes of the dialogue are expected to inform the development of actionable policies and structural reforms aimed at resetting the country's economic trajectory and promoting sustainable growth. The two-day dialogue is being attended by leaders of the private sector, diplomatic representatives of development partners, and government officials, including the Minister of Finance, Dr. Kassel Atoforsin, the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, President of the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, Dr. Kewa Mwako, Economist and Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Dr. Peter Quarty, an economist, Dr. Sesibi, and business executive and chairman of the planning committee of the dialogue, Dr. Ishmael Yamsing, among others. The president acknowledged that the economy he inherited barely 2 months ago was in a state of crisis, weighed down by unprecedented levels of debt, soaring inflation, high unemployment figures, declining foreign direct investment, and low business confidence. The financial struggles that our nation is facing have not arisen overnight. They have been the result of several years of financial mismanagement, irresponsible borrowing, reckless spending, and weak leadership that have failed to address the underlying structural issues within our economy, he said. President Mahama said that the challenges had been caused by years of financial imprudence, which had compromised the country's economic resilience and led to a downgrade of the country's international credit rating by credible agencies such as Moody's, Fitch, Standard & Poor. Credible rating agencies have all downgraded our international credit rating conservatively, leading to capital flight and a loss of investor confidence and trust. Now, he says, and I want to end with this, President Mahama identified key areas of focus, including restoring macroeconomic stability, structural reforms, and economic governance. We will focus on practical strategies to restore macroeconomic stability and pave the way for long-term economic transformation, he announced, and added that this includes developing policies that stimulate growth and create sustainable job opportunities for our rapidly growing population. The president also emphasized the need for structural reforms to unleash the private sector, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It says we'll strengthen economic governance institutions to ensure transparency and accountability at all levels of governance. What are your thoughts?
I think
the whole idea of having or organizing an economic dialogue.
Yeah, I think that's a very good move. Though it was promised in the manifesto, knowledge doesn't lie in one man's head. And once he has taken over the realms of the country to govern the people, it's prudent he pulls along people who are in other sectors of the economy with a lot of experience to come and help deliberate, and let's devolve a program that would enable the country to actually get the reset that we're all looking for. I think he has done it before, and that was the Century Accord, where he invited several groups of people with diverse skills, knowledge, and then a track record in economic policies. They developed the Century Accord, and we saw the benefits we had that reflected in the economic growth of 2017, though we're out of government, right? A similar thing that he's doing right now. The economy of the country cannot just be handled by people in NDC. We need to tap the vast knowledge of you yourself. You have seen the class of people, very knowledgeable and experienced group of people who have participated in this, led discussions, and are still leading discussions. Definitely, we need to diagnose the problem, though we know, but we need to now find policies that will guide the president in tackling the economic challenges that we have. He spoke about irresponsible borrowing. He spoke about irresponsible spending. He spoke about trying to bring about stability in the macro economy. Definitely, that is a task that he wants to perform as a government. It is the government way of doing things that would make the macro economy stable. He said he's going to rationalize taxes and expenditure, meaning that investment must be done where we make gains, and the spending taxes must be issued whereby we will get money, but not run down the same companies that we want to support. Because in it all, he's talking about using the private sector as the engine of growth. So if you put too much taxes on the private sector, then they may run down. And if you also spend too much and borrow too much without investing it into ventures that will bring about growth, that will bring about employment, that will bring about wealth creation, then it is only expenditure for people to spend, and that is it. Definitely, the economy would not go well. So I think that the move the president has done is good. He has talked of the mismanagement of the economy. We all know how much money the past government has made from taxes and how much money they have borrowed. But looking at what they have delivered, one would wonder, since so much was given to them, why is it that there's too little for us to enjoy from it? So he is promising...
Your point is that they have been given so much,
yes,
and yet they have little to show.
Yes, sure.
And I'm sure you're drawing that inspiration from to whom much is given, much is expected.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
So they have a lot of taxes. Even a tax that all Ghanaians were against e-levy, they still forced and pass it through. They spoke about investing in what we call Agenda 111, one district, one factory.
Yes.
Which is laudable, very good. But to it, what are we benefiting from it? We have not seen any positive impact. For me, I've not seen any positive impact from this one district, one factory. I don't know the number of people who have been employed under one district, one factory, to an extent that the last 2 months of them leaving office, they tried to employ over 100 and something thousand, 20 something thousand people in the last minute. Where were all those people? And they were not employed if we had one district, one factory going on. And the one district, one factory going on, what is the economic benefit? And what has it done to reduce our importation? That is my question. Because we need projects that industry that would bring about import substitution so that we don't have to import things from outside. But you go and run a motor assembling plant that was already in existence in Tamale. I know of that place. as one district, one factory.
Which motor assembling plant are you talking about?
There's a motor assembling plant just by the central mosque of Tamale.
You know that for a fact?
I know that for a fact. It was branded. And the man has been there ever since I was in Tamale. He's been fixing motors. I've bought motors from him before. So you see that it was not properly done. There was some...
But in relation to that,
Yes.
I mean, the NPP's government has explained time and again that the whole idea of a 1D, 1F is not necessarily to start a factory off the ground.
Good.
And that there are companies that would require some kind of a stimulus or some kind of a support. If the company deserves that kind of support, they are more than happy to give the company that kind of support. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a company which is starting from, do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. If you want to give the support to a company to grow, it must produce two things to me. It must employ more people.
Okay.
And it must produce products that will reduce our importation of goods and ensure that our CD is strengthened.
Okay.
Which of all these factories they have labeled has done that? They should tell us. Then we know that, yes, they invested in them, they gave them cheap loans, they assisted them with funds, and they've done this. And this is the number of people they have employed, and this is the amount of money that we would have used to import things that they have produced. I don't think they can produce. If even they can, it will be about 3-4% of it. The rest have all gone away. But check in NDC, even when there wasn't a promise of one district, one factory, Atwabu Gas, all their one district, one factory, Atwabu Gas has swallowed them. This was prudent investment and prudent management of the little resources that we have. We went for a loan, and the loan is paying for itself. Kotoka International Airport, Terminal 3, was a loan. It is paying for itself. And even the chief executive officer, who sometimes sits in this studio, who was then the board chairman, sits on this studio. He was a board chairman there, and he saw the benefits. And he could even buy Christmas trees, big Christmas trees. for the airport, it's paying for itself. Tema Port is paying for itself. That is prudent investment. Legon Medical Center can pay for itself. Rich Hospital is providing important social services. It can pay for itself. The Harbour Hospital, the Bank Hospital, all those things are prudent investment that the money was used to implement. They should tell us which of their one district, one factory has employed more people. At Atwabu, how many people are they employing? Several people are being employed. Tema Port, several people are being employed. Legon Hospital, several. Airport, several. That is what we as laymen want to see when you say you are investing in a company that will help Ghanaians. But to invest in a company that at the end of it all would not even employ 2 more people to add, it's not prudent. Look, if they had invested, to me, in Tamne irrigation project, which was virtually complete, they just left with the canals for the water to flow for a big, large farm, a garden, farming project at the back. Look, we could have reduced the 200 million that we are spending importing tomatoes from Burkina, because that area alone can give us several thousands of acres of land to cultivate tomatoes, onions, and then the rest. So I think that this is where we are looking at. This is why me as a lay person, I'm not an economist, but my lay economics tells me that you don't invest in something that would not make a change and think that you've done something good. If you have a company, if Ghana was their own company, would they do that? No, they'll rather go and put it where they'll make money. You don't give money to people who are doing importation against those who are doing production. Because most of the companies that they funded, most of them were importing. They were importing from outside. It means that they are rather creating jobs for other people. The only thing they do is to get salesmen to go around and do sales. If they were manufacturing things in Ghana, some of us would have been very, very happy. But I don't think that that type of investment they did was correct. For instance, JM is saying that they are going to ensure that 30,000 youths are trained in agriculture so that they will produce enough to take away, to reduce the importations that we do on food products. MPP had a lot of millions for planting for food and jobs. Meanwhile, we are importing onions, we are importing tomatoes, we are importing several things. Where did the planting for food money go? It means that it was not prudently used. It means that there was weak governance, there was weak controls of the system, there was no proper monitoring to ensure that we had a benefit of this planting for food for jobs, planting for food and jobs. A lot of silos were built, and I have one in my constituency, Garu. There's a big silo there that the roof is almost ripping off now. They have never stocked anything there. They have never stocked anything because they have not given the farmers the needed fertilizers. Because some of the fertilizers that they even brought to help them, you heard the stories, some of them were smuggled out of the country. And the minister himself came to tell us that, oh, the donkeys were moving alone. And you see, the donkey smuggling fertilizer out. And our farmers needed the fertilizer to boost farming.
But Doc, did you believe that?
No, I believe that because the minister said it.
When he said that the donkeys are smuggling our fertilizers outside of this country, did you believe that?
No. You see, he was just trying to say that people were smuggling it out.
I get it.
Yes, he was trying to say that people were smuggling it out. And that shouldn't happen under a program that was supposed to reduce importation of onions and tomatoes and maize and then the rest. Farmers need, poultry farmers need maize, and you were smuggling out fertilizers. Even look, the last thing that happened in the last month was, the last year was the fertilizer they brought, they hoarded them. They hoarded them. During election time, when we were not farming, that was when they were giving it out. Is this going to improve production? It will improve production. So the way and manner that they invested our resources, that is why the president said there was weak governance. There was mismanagement, there was irresponsible borrowing, irresponsible spending, and there was weak governance to control whoever was misapplying our monies. So therefore, calling for this forum, for people to come and tell the government how to design policies to run the country prudently and save us money, I think it's a welcome thing that we should all embrace.
Okay, let me read this portion of the story as reported by the Daily Graphic for you, and then I'll ask you follow-up questions. The question, it says, amid a gloomy outlook, President Mahama said the economic dialogue was initiated to find solutions to the problems already identified, and not to rather recount the challenges. Yes. Okay. We're not here to recount our struggles, nor are we here to resign ourselves to economic stagnation. We're here to seek solutions that will put us on the path of growth trajectory and to ensure that we build an economy that works for every Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Okay? The president explained the urgent need for a collective effort.
Yeah.
For me, it's underlined.
Yeah.
Okay. Collective effort to reset the economic trajectory and promote inclusive growth. Macroeconomic stability and structural reforms. We're gathered here today because we believe in Ghana's ability to rise again, stressing that the insights and recommendations emerging from the National Economic Dialogue must transcend theoretical frameworks and drive real, impactful decisions that will guide the economy going forward. Okay. What it means is that the president believes, clearly from what he just said, he believes in doing things collectively, which is everybody must come on board and let's let's deliberate and find lasting solutions, okay, that are not necessarily theoretical. They must be very practical.
Yeah.
But the economic dialogue was not attended by the biggest opposition party.
Yeah.
Okay, of this country, and I'm talking about the NPP.
Yeah.
We all know that our biggest problem in this country is about policy continuity.
Yeah.
That one party starts something and the other party comes and says, we have a different idea. Yeah. And then what the other party has started then gets truncated.
Yeah.
In fact, as we speak, there are a couple of things that I'm sure, and I'm very certain, that the Mahama administration will do away with. In fact, there's a gold for oil program, which the central bank, enjoys some level of autonomy and independence and so on. But I'm sure that when the central bank does something that's not good, we'll talk about it, it says the Mahama administration. So the central bank, as we speak today, is saying that gold for oil has been cancelled. That's one policy, it's been cancelled. Right. And there will be several other policies that will be cancelled.
Okay.
How then do we achieve this collective decision going forward?
Right.
When one party comes, they discontinue what has been started by the party, and another party comes and continues. How do we achieve this collective ambition, dream, and aspiration?
Thank you. Let me first of all tell you that it is not all the parties that do away with policies initiated by previous governments.
Okay.
the Mahama Mills administration inherited single spine and continued with it. We've inherited free senior high school, and we say we are continuing with it in a much better way. Inviting a party to participate for us to know, bring your argument, why this policy you started is good. Let's continue with it or we do away with it. It's very vital, and that is what we did. They refused to come. It means that argument for it may not be that very, very favorable. One, if a policy like gold for oil has been terminated by the bank, sure, it means there is a problem with it. It is not beneficial to the country. If it was beneficial to the country, definitely they wouldn't just say they've stopped it. If it was very transparent and the monies that we are getting is commensurate, the fuel that we are getting is commensurate with the gold, how the gold is being, how they get the gold in the first place, how they take it out for the, exchange it for the fuel. If it is transparent, definitely, I don't think the Bank of Ghana will just say we've terminated this. It means that there's some amount of lack of transparency, some amount of, for lack of better word, some perhaps criminality. And that is why they are saying they are ending, or it is not beneficial to the state. Or they have another way of finding resources for us to buy oil so that we rather save the gold for other purposes. So I wouldn't say that because they've terminated this, every government that comes terminate a program and then the rest. For instance, we are saying that we are going to add value. JM said we are going to add value to our raw products before we export them. You started one district, one factory. If there's any factory that was built under them and is producing anything that can be exported, that can transform anything into a secondary product, add value to it, definitely we do it. And I remember very well in the vetting of the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, she promised of them ensuring that the tomato factory, onion factory that is in around Techima area is going to be giving support. That is what we want to see. And you know that factories that were started by MPP and they are doing well, let's say they are doing well, definitely they'll be assessed and seeing how they can be roped in. For them not coming for the forum is something that they always do. And you know it. Senchi, they never attended. I think it was one of our senior statesmen, Pienin also, he was the only person who attended it. Even recently, we parliamentarians were going to go for training, for orientation, not by a party, but by the Parliamentary Training Institute. So they didn't go. They boycotted it. Then they invite you for a forum, then you boycott. That is not fair. That is not patriotism. His Excellency is inviting everybody to play a role. He wants us to have a collective decision and bring out policies that are practicable to ensure that the country is transformed. We have a positive trajectory in the economy, and you refuse to go. But you rather go and sit somewhere and then have a press conference on the state of the nation. Why didn't you go there and speak of the economy? The economy is the most important thing in this nation. Because once the economy is good, everything would fall in line. The house that is wealthy, crisis problems are not had. So go and help in professing policies that would bring about positive development in the economy. No, that one you have refused and you have rather gone somewhere. But NDC, for a fact, has never done away with any positive policy that the MPP has started. National Health Insurance, those started by NDC and nationally implemented by MPP, we came and continued with it and brought about transformation into it. They've also come back and transformed it, and we are coming back to transform it the more. So I don't think that NDC has deliberately left out any policy which is implementable, which is bringing benefits to Ghanaians, or which has brought about economic progress in Ghana. NDC has never cancelled any of those policies. I don't think, if you can remind me of any.
But the counter-argument will also be that every political party in government can find a reason to either to discontinue a policy. They can find, they can create a justifiable reason to discontinue a policy.
And that is accepted in our democracy.
Thank you.
And even outside.
Exactly. So how then do we ensure that this national economic dialogue doesn't become, so two questions in one. How do we ensure that this national dialogue, economic dialogue, doesn't become one, a talk shop.
Yeah.
And then number two, to also ensure that the recommendations that will come out of this dialogue will not just be implemented by the NDC government, but then in a future NPP government, the NPP government will say, well, this was what Ghanaians agreed collectively to do. And so we are committed to doing it as well, and so we will do it. How do we ensure that happens? Otherwise, wouldn't it just make nonsense of what we're doing?
You see, it will make nonsense. That is the democracy we've chosen.
Okay.
That every government comes with what we call his strategic plan, his blueprint, which is his manifesto, and also try to outdo the other one.
Okay.
That is natural in Ghana, and it is happening, and we can't stop it until we have perhaps the two parties coming together to rule, and the winner takes all system is done away. We can't stop it. If any government that comes with this policy would try to realign all the policies to fit into its manifesto. So therefore, what JM is doing currently is trying to realign. And if it's realigning and something is good, they'll leave it. And if it is not good for the blueprint that they gave to Ghanaians before coming to power, they'll definitely find a way of doing with it, just like NPP will find a way of doing with it.
Okay.
But the end result of what you are doing will be assessed after your 4 years. And that's where Ghanaians will see whether we gave you the chance to develop your own policies and run the country. Has it benefited us? If it benefits them, they will retain your government. Whether it's yourself or your party, they will retain you. If it is not good, they wouldn't. So what NDC is doing is to work on policies that will bring growth to Ghana's economy, will bring security to Ghana, would ensure that Ghanaians are comfortable in their country. If at the end of the 4 years, we do the talks and we don't walk the talks, then definitely they'll have problems with us. But if we implement them, then definitely Ghanaians will say, look, they came and said this, they have done it, we are satisfied with them, stay for another 4 years. The next time we do another thing, stay for another 4 years. But it is up to we Ghanaians and the level-headed Ghanaians, patriots. Let's all try, like everybody's preaching, let's try and get a long-term strategic plan for Ghana, which has been done in China, Malaysia, Singapore, and the rest. And let's all try to abide by it. Let our manifestos pick from them. Then we'll be able to push this country forward. Other than that, every party comes, that's what they want, and go away. Another party comes, pushes the other one aside, and that's what they want. It's not good. For instance, let me give you assurance that we are not doing away with everything. James says all projects that were initiated, construction, buildings that were initiated under MPP, he's going to ensure that he will complete them. The Agenda 111, he's going to strategize them and see how he can get private sector and then the rest to come to see how we can complete them. Schools that were being built and they are not completed, we are coming to complete them. I just came from Ho yesterday, and there were roads that were started, and they are still working on them and completing them. So it is not all the parties, it's not both parties. NDC has the history of trying to continue with what others have left. It's just the MPP who you can see, they are manifesting it now. They are not even willing to sit with us to dialogue about the crisis in the country. Even in Parliament, you see the challenges we are going through, even to go for training, common training on how to work in Parliament. Their members refuse to go.
Okay. You talked earlier about the fact that the government had borrowed so much and have little to show.
Yeah.
And you talked about the one district, one factory as being one of the things that the MPP likes to tout as being one of the achievements. And you wanted to know how many factories had been built to justify all the big talk about one district, one factory.
Is it built or supported?
Or have been supported? No, whether built or supported. Unless, of course...
No, we have to separate them.
Okay.
I would like them to separate. Okay. This is what we have built.
And this is what,
we have supported.
Okay.
In that way, we would assess to see whether what was the level of support and what change has it brought. If you build from scratch, we know that everybody there was brought in by the government.
Okay.
But if it is support, you could support somebody, he asks nobody, and the business doesn't change. It continues to be the same.
Okay, no, I get it. But the point I'm trying to make is that how many one district factories have been put up, either through support or started from the ground.
Yes.
You know, so but they will all be put under 1D, 1F.
Right.
So whilst at it, because this platform is it's a fact-checking platform.
Sure.
We try to make sure that we give our viewers the real hard or cold fact. Now, as at May 2024, 9th May, so this is 9th May 2024, the president had announced that 170,000 jobs have been generated under the One District, One Factory initiative. He attributes the job creation to the establishment of 321 businesses across some districts in the country. 321 businesses. Now, President Kufuor detailed that the 321 businesses, out of the 321 businesses, 211 were new medium to large-scale enterprises, while the remaining 110 have been revitalized after the government injected substantial funds into them to facilitate the operation and expansion of their production facilities, which you rightly mentioned earlier. So, and he said this during his visit to Blue Skies Limited in Sawam, where the president expressed that he's proud to report that his administration has facilitated the development of 321 1D, 1F projects, and that these include 211 new medium to large-scale enterprises and so on and so forth. So, just so you can capture that in your submission.
Yeah, I think that this statement was queried by many people when it came out.
Yes, I recall.
Yes, many people didn't believe the figures of the employment. Many people think that some of the factories, they just go there and put a signage on it because the person is a friend to the party. So actual sense, if you want to understand that they have serious challenges when it comes to giving figures, you can just rely on the National Service Authority's figures of employment of people who have done services. You can also rely on the Ministry of Education, where there are figures of how many people completed attended free senior high school, and those who currently that we know. We know that they said 5.something million, and finally they have come down to 3.something. It means that they don't give accurate figures about anything they are doing. You can see it from what JM said about their Agenda 111. They told us that they had completed some number of Agenda 111. In actual sense, yesterday the Minister of Health himself was in the one that they said is most complete, and they were still fixing ceilings and wiring. You can see that they are not really forthcoming with the truth when it comes to figures. If you follow them, you have serious problems. I remember the beginning in 2020, the Minister of Finance was, 2018, was peddling figures about employment of 120-something thousand people they have employed in the Ministry of Health alone, that some of us had to come and refute it, which wasn't true. So, as for figures, NPP is very good in peddling figures which are untrue. So, and I don't believe that all these people are working in those factories.
So you don't trust this figure?
I don't trust this figure.
You think it's fictitious?
No, it can be. They have done something. But
no, in terms of the number.
In terms of the number, I don't believe it. I don't trust that actually they've helped them. How much each have they helped each factory or each business? If you're helping a business that is doing importation, that is not a good job to Ghana. We want businesses that will do production here and do export. If you're going to help a business that is importing rice or importing what we call chicken or importing maize, I don't expect a government to support a business that is importing some of those things. I'd rather support a government that would give support production of chicken, support production of maize, support production of tomatoes, support production of fruit juice, and then the rest. That is what I want to see. Not supporting businesses that will be importing. The only thing they do, they need salesmen. It's very easy to get salesmen. It's very easy to get salesmen. We need people that will do production. So 17,000 people. What is 17,000 people?
170,000.
170,000 people. And you go to SNIT, you get the reflection. Go to SNIT and see whether you get the reflection. That is what we use to argue about the employment issues in the Ministry of Health. Go to SNIT and see whether this reflects. Perhaps these are casual workers. In 6 months, after they have gone to commission it, they are off. So let's create jobs that are really permanent. And know
so you think we should interrogate the numbers?
We should interrogate the numbers. That is what I'm talking about.
And get to the
bottom of it. And even interrogate the factories.
But Parliament can do that.
Yes, easily. Parliament can do that.
Easily.
Yes,
in fact, this announcement was made last year, April.
Yes.
Sorry, last year, May.
Yes.
You were not in Parliament then.
I was not in Parliament.
Would you have wished that at the time this announcement was made, Parliament would have gone behind what, or gone beyond what the government at the time said. Yeah. And then perhaps the minority group in charge of trade and industry, of which Murtala Ibrahim Mohammed is actually a member, a ranking member on that committee. Would you have wished that Murtala and co would have gone behind the facts and figures and then checked to see whether indeed 321 factories have actually indeed been built, and whether out of that 321, 211 were medium to large scale enterprises,
and starting from scratch.
So that you then would have a contrary figure or a contrary data to say that, look, contrary to what the government has said it had done, this is the figures that we have. And then once you're able to contradict it, then we can sit and have a conversation. You don't think so?
I think what you are proposing is prudent.
Yeah.
It can be done. It's even not late.
Okay.
We have a new government that is looking into the books. So let's not put the cart before the horse. You know, last year was a campaign year.
Yeah.
They did a lot in Parliament. A lot of work went in. So definitely you are reminding us that we should try and look at this. Well, definitely we can approach.
Because you know why? You know why I'm saying this?
Yes.
The reason why I'm saying this is because Richard Hiagwa is going to join us soon.
Yeah.
When he does, he is most likely to repeat these numbers and even perhaps add more, because this was data as produced in May last year. Right? So he's going to come and say, as at say December, or if even as at January this year,
right,
this is the new number. And then you to counter what he's saying, because you don't have the counter figure or the counter information.
Yes, definitely I won't struggle to counter it.
Okay.
I will only rely on the
show me where they are.
The fake figures they've given before on others. You see, they say, tell me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Tell me your past and I'll tell you your present. So we know their past, and we can use that one to judge them for now. How many one village, one dam was built in the north? All of them have one of, we all know. They themselves came to criticize that the money given to them was not sufficient. You see, they have a way of trying to get the public believe in what they say. But I think Ghanaians have gone far beyond that, have grown above that. They now understand what is facts and what is fictitious. Because if you say you've created all these jobs, tell me by region, give me the locations of all those things. Let's go there and see. Let's check from Social Security whether these jobs, this company has employed this number of people within this time. It is from there that we actually know the actual figures of employment. Other than if you just go and take people part-time to come and put there for a president to come and commission something, and tomorrow you kick them off after 6 months because they are part-time workers, it is not a true reflection about what you are saying. So I really, whether you come to give us new figures or not, I know them very well. And I am very calm in responding to some of their issues.
So you don't believe them when they say they've also built more than 420 dams in villages across the country? You don't believe that too?
There were not dams in the first place.
Oh.
They were not.
They were not dams?
No, they were duck outs.
What were they?
They were duck outs.
But that's not fair.
You know a dam? You know the Tamne irrigation, Tamne dam?
No, it's massive, it's huge.
That is a dam.
Like a Kosombo
that
dam.
has swallowed about 1,000 of deers.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a dam. You go and just dig something small for water to stay, and by February, not even February, by November it's dried. Is that a dam? A dam is a dike you construct to contain water during the dry season. It didn't meet the purpose. It means you just did something to indicate that you've accomplished your manifesto's promise. But in real sense, you've done nothing. Why didn't you gather the money of 4 of those duck outs to dig a good dam? It is not compulsory that every village should really have a dam. Look at where it is feasible. Let the geographers tell you that if you put a dam here, a good dam here, it will really be good for several constituencies. Look, the Tamne Dam is 7 Garu, is 7 Boku, is 7 Timpane, is 7 Binduri. How many constituencies? 4. But those that they put in my village, I know of 2. One has been washed away. The other one, the children play football because it's a smooth place in the dry season. The children go there to play football because it's dry. Is that a dam? That is not a dam. We want what we call a dam should be a dam. A very good dike, stopping water from falling away and reserving it for use during the dry season when it is not raining. Go to Burkina and see dams. Go to Burkina and see dams. Those are dams. That is the type we want here. Not what they promised. What they promised, they didn't fulfill it. Naturally, they didn't. Whether they dug 1,000 of them or not, they were not up to standard. Their own minister came to say, with the little money they gave to me, I couldn't have done one this. Yeah. Or is it what Mavis or what's the name?
Mavis Akumsin.
Yes, Akumsin said it. That the money given to him was insignificant. meaning that they just came to toy with our thinking, and we understood it very well, and we gave them a good response last December.
Let me say that we're expecting Richard Ahiagwa, because so many of you are sending us messages asking where's the MPP rep. Richard Ahiagwa was supposed to be here at 7:30 exactly when the show starts, but he's still not here. He tells us that he'll be here with us shortly in the next few minutes, and so we're waiting for Richard Ahiagwa, who's the Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party. He's still not here with us, and so once he joins us, he would give us the MPP perspective on the issues that we have raised on the show. But just in case you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Dr. Thomas Anaba, who is the MP for Garu, and we've been having a conversation on the back of the National Dialogue program, which was launched yesterday at the Accra Conference Center, and we want to know where we're going to go with this National Dialogue event or initiative, because oftentimes what has happened in this country is that we started very well by one government starts, recommendations are made, fantastic recommendations, another party comes and says it is rubbish, it is cancelled, a new one starts, because especially when it comes to, of course, about economy. It's a political economy, and so people are free under the democratic dispensation to espouse whatever views that they deem fit, and so that's always been the challenge. But it says this time round, we intend to make it different. In fact, I believe it is must be Dr. Ishmael Yamsing. Yeah. In fact, he recognizes this challenge, and then he proposes a solution. But I'll come back to you on that. Let me say that if you watch the top, not the top, but just the down there on the right corner of a television set, you see a QR code. Please scan it. Please scan it. And it would open you up to a world of digital media platforms, fantastic state-of-the-art digital platforms, and you will enjoy them very, very, very much. Fascinating digital media platforms. So please do that and give us the feedback, because it's only through feedback that we can improve. So, yes, I asked about sustainability and continuity. And what you have sought to do is to tell us that, look, it will be different this time around. Dr. Ishmael Yamson said something and said, look, is it possible for us to institutionalize it? Make it such that no government will come and say, we are throwing away all these fantastic and brilliant recommendations that have been made. We'll make it very difficult for them, even if it means we have to pass a law to do that. We'll talk about that. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please stay with us. The conversation continues. Interesting conversation continues. Stay with us.
Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all.
Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Fire pomudi ni agobi Ghana fu ni age if you say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice
me de go me jollof mu ni me still ahodoma e ma ne dance
Stanley the barbecue the go on
sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural said the happen no
Adofo mamu nye huge mistake sankofa natural spices the
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of bantama.
My chest.
That's a cycle.
The smile, the fresh breath.
Me Gidi say we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Say me kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa. Kile ko saying. Cal 360 did the work. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling kika when you know Cal 360 toothpaste. Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria be na achimi o man no man still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. What rest of so give us here and tum down.
But so good as so. But tomato give us the and tum down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me pa try the and tum down.
Customer. Give us a tum down.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no banu fu nom akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
You the answer to my prayer. You with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Mommy. Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Cal Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Cal Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi, Cal Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa, and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This one is called blockage of water. It's not a dam.
Not dam construction.
Because like a dam, like a whole 2 acres of land, then you are enclosing it, put water inside for people to handle.
You are saying that these dams are exactly what you promised.
Yes. Then look at the cost, 250,000 Ghana cedi. 250,000 Ghana cedi. If you are constructing a meaningful dam, you don't need anything less than $3 million. $3 million, so not Ghana cedi. So if I'm constructing 250,000 Ghana dam, then what kind of dam are you expecting from me? I hope you're getting me. So that's.
Don't you love Good Morning Ghana? Of course you do. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. Joining me this morning is Dr. Thomas Anaba, who's the MP for Garu, and also Richard Ahiagba, who's the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. He's also joined us, fortunately. Well, I would ask him to tell me why today he didn't turn up early, which is very uncharacteristic of him, so I'd ask him why he turned up a bit late today. Richard, good to see you. Good morning.
Morning to
How
you.
are you?
I'm all welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning to my senior brother,
Dr. Thomas Anaba,
who has had all day to propagandize as much as he can.
Wasn't that what all the viewers will determine that? The viewers will determine.
But apparently, propaganda comes from propagating, isn't it?
Yes.
Why have we given it a negative twist?
It's a negative thing if what you're propagating is not true.
It's utter falsehood.
Yes, and then you are propagating it so much that it takes over and becomes the fact.
Okay, but
so it supplants the truth.
That's fine. But let's go back to basics. I'm saying that propaganda comes from the word to propagate.
Right.
So if somebody comes on a show, forget about whether it's Good Morning Ghana or not. Yeah. The person comes and propagates their views on a matter, whether MPP or NDC. Why do we create the impression that just because the person is engaged in propaganda, the person is lying?
Yeah, well, but it's obvious what the person is saying there is propagating falsehood is bad. You propagate that when people go ahead and propagate the Quran and propagate the gospel.
Yes.
We want that. We want more of that. He can come and preach all day he wants. We can support that. But when he's propagating falsehood, that one is not the propagation we want.
So it is not possible to engage in truthful propaganda. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, there's truthful propaganda. I mean, the Christians would propagate the gospel.
Politicians can't do that.
I'm saying I'm mentioning a category of people.
Okay.
But I'm saying a politician can propagate the truth.
Okay.
But when he's not propagating the truth, then propaganda becomes negative.
Okay, that's negative propaganda.
Exactly.
But then that then becomes you've not characterized the propaganda, which is negative. There can be so propaganda itself is not bad, for as long as the truth is being told.
Yes.
It only becomes bad when the lies are being told.
Absolutely.
The entire media house here.
It is abuse.
You guys are propagating your views.
Is that?
The entire media house right now, what we are doing
is
propaganda. Propagating.
Correct.
Information.
My only concern is the negative spin that we've given to propaganda.
Yeah. Because you see, it's a good tool.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Prayer is good, isn't it? But you can pray for God to kill somebody. Is that good?
That is true.
Is it good to do that prayer?
That's bad.
It's bad. But prayer itself is supposed.
But you agree with me that propaganda itself is not bad. It just depends on how it is done.
That's what I'm saying. If you're propagating the truth, then propagation is good.
Okay.
When you're propagating lies, then propagation is bad.
Okay.
Yes.
So Good Morning Ghana is also can be watched on Facebook, Good Morning Ghana, or Metro TV Ghana. That's on Facebook. On YouTube, it's Metro TV Ghana. And also, we're live on DSTV channel 277. Richard Ayamba, fortunately, has joined us. And so the conversation, hopefully, will be much more balanced than we have had. And of course, I've done my best to ask what I believe are the critical questions, but we'll continue with it. Now, Richard, we were talking about the National Economic Dialogue. And my concern is that what happens to all the fine and brilliant and powerful recommendations that are likely to come out of this economic dialogue series. And in fact, as we speak today, must be today or tomorrow, a communique will be issued, which is to say this is what we have arrived at. End of day today. How do we ensure that these ideas continue to live and not die with the political party?
Thank you.
First of all, your idea, generally your thoughts about the whole event.
The conference. I think the dialogue is NDC's idea.
Yeah.
It's not something that it's not bad in of itself, but you will have supposed that coming in 8 years on the touchlights, they would have come in with all these consultations done. They put together a manifesto. They could have done all these part of the formulation of their manifesto and all of that. And so this, what we're seeing, would have been done when they had all the time on their hands to come in. It's like training when the game is on. They would have trained, rehearsed, and have their policies and programs in place to come in and resolve the issue. One would ask, everything they said about the economy during the 2024 election was just suppositions, was just fake. That's why you just made up allegations about the economy. What the solutions they were proposing during the election, what were those? Were they reasoned proposals or just proposal pulled just randomly out of the hat just to convince people? So is it possible to say that anything they said about the economy they will do, they will not do during the election, can that be taken seriously? Because to the extent that they are now going to develop or devise a plan out of this economic dialogue, whatever they told us and promised, again, the 24-hour economy, is it the product of a reasoned economic thinking, that they knew that this is, maybe not a silver bullet, but a sure solution that can drive Ghana's growth? Is it feasible? What were the basis for that reasoning in their economic platform that they proposed? That, today when you look at their manifesto, they said the 24-hour economy is the anchor of their fiscal policy. Was that a reasoned position? Would that change if the recommendation from the National Economic Dialogue proposes something contrary to the 24-hour economy and say this is not feasible, that something else is the way to go? Would they just jettison that? What really was the platform they brought for the election? And so for me, I see it as an afterthought, something that perhaps the people who were in the room, I no doubt, will bring significant insight. Which one?
Afterthought.
So I'm talking about the policies that would come,
okay,
and then the policies that they propose,
okay,
between the two,
okay,
right? The economic dialogue is maybe not an afterthought, but is a window dressing, all right, to kind of elicit a certain participation, okay, which then will lead to a certain sharing of ownership to say that we develop this together. If it's not working, then we should do so and so. So for me, it's a fall design that they are trying to make, to say that if things go wrong, we just fall on that and say, well, this is what we all designed and all of that. Because the reason I say that to you is that the problems to our economy, they are known. Nothing will be said from the National Economic Dialogue that you don't know, that I don't know, that our economy fundamentally requires a structural reform. Well, it's been known since ages, since we were babies. You understand? These are things. There are some ideas that we're hearing from there that have been proposed, that growth with depth. And if you're growing with depth, means essentially just adding value to the things that we're producing and trying to drive a production-based economy. These are solutions that are known. What else? You understand? So my question is that for the NDC, this is a propaganda tool, an idea to create a certain presence of collectiveness, when actually they don't care about that. If you listen a bit closely to the president's statement yesterday, I think he mentioned to the extent that they know the problems, right? They know the problems. They're here to look at practical solutions. And I'm saying that, is it to say that there wasn't time to reason through that practical solution? And is it supposing that the 24-hour economy, which they have marketed widely, on which wing I believe a lot of people voted for them? Is it saying that it's not practical enough? You understand? So for me, the National Economic Dialogue, with due respect to all the key individuals who were there, maximum experience in the room, people who have accomplished much in life, people who would, given the chance, would contribute and will contribute significant ideas to whatever paper they want to put out probably at the end of the day today. That exercise, for me, is a political exercise by the NDC, but an honest effort, which is the reason why we will not be there. We were not there. But when they are finished and come to Parliament, to their programs and policies, we'll engage in a debate to support constructively criticizing and offering alternative ideas on the floor of Parliament, because that's where the action is going to take place. The dialogue is a talk place collecting ideas, which ideas we believe they should have known already, because otherwise, what was their campaign message, you know? So truthfully, if the NDC prioritizes what ideas are coming from there, I will tell you that it's not going to be any different from what we know, which I believe they should have known. And this is probably just a window dressing effort. But the appearance that the NDC is trying, or the impression, I should say, that the NDC is trying to create to do with collective participation, and therefore MPP not being there is not is bad on our part not to be there. I find that to be laughable, because look, you must act in good faith. Here you have a president who's taking over a growing economy, a president who left a contracting economy and has come to inherit a recovering economy, is characterizing that economy as having been mishandled. That person, if you go to that conference and tell him what the problems are, he wouldn't listen. He wouldn't implement them. There's no use to conjoin with that forum, because the ideas that they are going to come up with are pretty much the same ideas that we've been implementing. Which ideas are to lead to structural reform.
Yes.
Okay? And so there isn't anything new, and I was saying they're going to say there that are not already being implemented or that are not already known. What we require is the implementation of programs and policies to drive the growth that we're picking up. You see, and also I was happy yesterday, the chair of the dialogue, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, to a very large extent, conceded that this country was affected by COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war. I think that was the first time I have seen that admission, and I think that is instructive and should inform, okay, NDC's communication and policy discussions going forward.
But that has never been in doubt.
But it has been in doubt.
Why?
The NDC has never accepted that. I've been on many platforms and I've been here. They've never accepted that. They would say...
What I have heard is, yes, there have been some impact. I think that the point of debate is the extent or the degree.
Who has measured the extent? Because what way you just say that yes, but then they focus on what else they want to argue. But if you are properly given, more or less weight to the event, you realize that if you are healthy, okay, this morning you are healthy, we will assume that you perform at your maximum best.
Right.
But if for some reason you are under the weather and your performance is affected, right, we'll judge based on that impact. If that's, if it be it cold or flu didn't happen, your ability to perform at your best will never be questioned. You understand? But of course, if one day you are healthy and you come and you don't perform well, we can ask, so I just have so much on my mind. That can be processed. So there are two different situations. So we have a malady, which malady is the COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war, exacerbating and worsening situations. The supply chain shock, which was born out of the Russia-Ukraine war, is a consequential effect that affected not only Ghana, but all the countries, even in the first world. So to measure the impact of that, you can't be light about it. You can say that, okay, other countries didn't have the same impact as we have, but the extent of the openness of the economy relative to Ghana's openness to the global economy are different. Because if you take Ivory Coast, for example, to what extent is there? I'm coming. To what extent is Ivory Coast's economy an open or closed economy? Because theirs is largely a closed economy, tied very closely to the French economy. And so the degree of impact, based on your peculiar situation, based on my peculiar situation, what malady I experience and how it affects me and affects you will be different. Yeah. So when you are making that kind of assessment, you cannot be
based on the immune system theory.
Exactly. You can't be sheepish about it and just saying that yes, but this is what I choose to lay emphasis on. I think it's constructive what has happened. And if you see across the world, even UK, America, and a lot of countries where incumbents have suffered electoral defeat, massive electoral defeats, because of the difficult global economic situation. So what we have gone through, it doesn't mean that the MPP didn't have policies that were significant. The policies that we have, I will stand by the policies that we're putting any day. The idea the NDC will say it and then laugh about it. The proposal to move from taxation to production was an industrial policy, was an industrial idea whose implementation would occur over time. And what were we doing about that? The One District, One Factory is a key plank of that idea, which require time to implement. So what the NDC will have to do, quite apart from having economic dialogue, intensify the implementation of that. My brother was talking about One District, One Factory, what number. I'm not going to debate number with him, because that number is out there. You can go on a performance tracker. You will see all of those things are out there. You can decide to believe and not to believe. That's fine. But my key question now is that they sat in Parliament. The economic dialogue they're having, some of the ideas that I am hearing coming out from there are largely on how we can restructure our economy. If you look at maybe the cocoa sector, manufacturing and all of that, energy, all of those things are centered around restructuring the economy, okay? Economic restructure was what we proposed, which at heart of it, the shift from production to taxation to production, essentially the restructure of our economy. Look at your tax regime. How do you restructure that, reform that so that it is more inclusive and widened? How do you do that? All those ideas were proposed, okay? So if they sit in Parliament and for almost 4 years, okay, since 2022, a tax exemption requiring to stimulate production, they obstructed that and made sure that tax exemption didn't pass. And now they are going to sit at economic dialogue and tell us that, oh, they are coming up with structural whatever. How are they going to implement that? My brother was talking about production. If you support somebody who is importing, nobody likes that. Our policy is to drive growth from within. And we're not supporting anybody who is importing rice. We're not doing that. Okay, we're supporting production, original production. Those who are producing and we're having challenges were supported. So if you sit in Parliament, and today you sit on Good Morning Ghana, you are sitting at Conference Center and you're trying to do economic dialogue, and what is coming from there is how you can reform the economy, you can become more productive, which production policy the MPP was pursuing, and you sat in Parliament and obstructed that, obstructed it. And sometimes it's a pride point for the NDC that we opposed it. They thump their chest and say, we opposed it. But you see, now, that's exactly what they have to do. There is no amount of production you can do without stimulating the production sector.
Why don't we wait for the recommendations to come out?
But I'm saying that the President Mahama told you that we know the problems. What they are going there is practical solutions. And I'm saying that some of the solutions are on the table. The solution was before Parliament. Which solution they have obstructed? Because if you want to drive growth, you want to drive production, and the cost of setting up enterprise or any manufacturing pursuit is very high. And if you're a country that is trying to create employment and drive import substitution, and you have to stimulate your productive sector. And so you have a policy which is 1D, 1F, who wants to bring new factories, exploit raw material advantages in districts and all of that. You have a policy of stimulating, getting those companies or investors or entrepreneurs off the ground. And you go to Parliament with a proposal. Look, in order for us to achieve this, let's give this tax regime in terms of import of raw material. This must be emphasized. Raw material, which you cannot find here. Okay? If you cannot accede to that, in terms of the parliamentarian cannot approve that exemption, what you're doing is that you are making production in Ghana uncompetitive, because if that enterprise is forced to bring that raw material in at high cost, he cannot be competitive in relation to somebody who goes to import the finished product from the country outside of the place outside of your country to sell in your country. And that's why you see most of the imports in our country sometimes cheaper than goods produced here. The government needs to stimulate it. And when you do that, what you achieve is that you actually create some parity for the domestic producer. But then the advantage then is that they are employing people, those people are paying taxes, and then the production exercise itself is also paying taxes, and that production enterprise in a community is creating a ripple economic activity. So you have the multiplier effect of that with one single tax exemption that is given to a company. But the NDC refused it. Now they're going to sit there at dialogue pretending as if they don't know that it's a solution that they could have assisted the government to implement. And now they are talking about collective action.
So Richard.
Which collective action are they talking about when they were in Parliament, busily obstructing? I heard my brother mention about e-levy. You know what the e-levy? Any government, they are going to be passing tax. They're going to be proposing tax handles, right? Any government of this republic you don't get money from any other source apart from three. Tax is a capital avenue for government to raise revenue.
Fact.
And we're faced with a difficulty from COVID, the expenditures that were incurred. My brother sat home, he got free water, electricity.
So he's not told you he got free water.
No, it was a national policy. If he didn't get it, then that's his cup of tea.
So he says he didn't get it. He said he didn't get
it. You didn't make the provision for me to get it.
Oh, okay. Well,
so he
I can show you a video.
No problem.
So just leave him out of the example.
No, I will leave him. If he didn't get it, his
money should be returned to me.
Well, if he can apply, now your government is he can give it. His neighbor got it. You got it. I know I got it.
I didn't.
You didn't get it. You didn't get electricity.
Stop that.
Hold on. You didn't get electricity free.
I haven't checked.
So now,
I will have to check.
Okay. Well, I know you,
Richie,
Master.
So some Ghanaians,
you know the issues.
But hold
hold
on. But you see, it was supposed to be a national policy.
Yes.
Okay. Where we are now, I have not seen anybody come to claim that they haven't gotten it, because it's a right. You have to get it. If you haven't got it, you haven't spoken about it.
Okay.
You haven't spoken about it.
I'm talking about it now.
But it's belated.
Okay.
It's belated. If there is anything to be done, maybe you can claim from the government. But you are supposed to get it. But the idea was that even if you don't get it, a vast majority of Ghanaians got it. This was cost that we needed to recover. So the government was thinking ahead of time to say that all those debts that we have incurred, to be able to save life, to protect livelihoods, those debts will come due. And so what we need is a revenue handle that would help us close that gap.
Okay.
And the proposal was the e-levy to bring in some about 7 billion Ghana cedis to close that gap. The NDC saw it politically prudent to oppose it. They thumped their chest that they've succeeded in defeating it and mischaracterized the handle so much that it didn't deliver. So then you walk into an economic minefield in 2022. Okay, even with the growth momentum that we entered 2022, a 7% GDP growth, all those things were quashed because of the difficult conversation around the 2022 budget. Signal to the international community this is not going to be an enjoyable economy to go and invest in. All foreign direct investment took flight, and then the situation was not helped by the Russia-Ukraine war. So you have a confluence of issues leading to the worsening of the economy. Okay, and so that has been the story. And from 2022, we've been trying to dig ourselves out. About 12 months, one fiscal year, we struggled. All of 2022, we struggled. From 2023, this economy started turning around. Okay, and so what I propose in analyzing our economy is that you take the first half, the first term of Akufo-Addo, and you look at it, and then take the second half of Akufo-Addo's term and look at it, and see what were the extenuating circumstances that may have induced the outcome that we are experiencing now. And clearly, that has been COVID and Russia-Ukraine war, which thankfully the chairman of the Economic Dialogue Committee accepted yesterday that had had an impact. Now, the issue I want to get from there is to say that the policies that the New Patriotic Party had implemented are not positive. They are not correct policies. They are not policies that are sustainable. I have not heard anybody say that. But the whole condemnation is on a political sphere where the president did a great disservice to this country standing in parliament to say that this economy was mishandled. Okay. When it is a better economy, okay, with all the challenges on the fronts of maybe job creation and other issues because of the intervention or the disruption of COVID and the Russia-Ukraine war, the difficulties that we're experiencing, the DDEP and all of those things, the domestic component of it. In spite all of that, he is inheriting a much better economy. In fact, in terms of debt, in terms of even managing the GDP, he's inherited a much better economy. He has a banking sector that is more buoyant than he left it. Banking sector is more buoyant than he left it.
Well,
so the point I am making is that...
It's a whole conversation we have.
So the point I'm making quite simply...
National economic dialogue. I beg you. National economic dialogue.
I'm just ending on that point.
Please do, so that we can move to our next topic.
The point I'm making quite simply is that if you look at the National Economic Dialogue with respect to all the very distinguished individuals who are in the room, who are applying themselves and everything to try and glean out some policy direction for the NDC. Okay. Everything they are talking about there are solutions, are problems that we know, which problems, solutions are being offered, which and the requirement for the NDC going forward is to improve and build on the implementation of policies that is
I just have this question.
That simply is what they ought to do, and not to go and start something as though that they are bringing some extraordinary new idea. Okay. The ideas are there, implementation, discipline is all required, and Ghana will continue to grow.
When you wanted the tax break or the tax incentives for some, I've forgotten the number of factories that were looking at, the number of companies were looking at, and Afenyo Makin was very, very passionate about this issue. At the time, one of the main reasons why you felt that the NDC at the time needed to come on board and get this thing done was because you said it's about Ghana, right? That was the principal position you took. It was about Ghana. Forget about whether these companies belong to who. Because at the time, remember, Atto Forcing at the time was saying that some of those companies that were seeking to give tax breaks were companies that were related to MPP and so on. I don't know whether it's a fact or a fiction. But let me just even say that granted that some of those taxes belong to MPP. But MPP people are Ghanaians. Yeah. But I'm saying that at the core of your argument at the time was that this was about Ghana. So the question is, what has changed? Why is it that now I will not attend a national dialogue, economic dialogue, because the president has described the way you have handled the economy as criminal or as reckless? And that for you is enough reason to stop being Ghanaian or to stop being patriotic and to stop being nationalistic, to say that even if you have a counter argument about, or you have counter facts about where we are in terms of the state of the economy, you could have gone, because there will be breakout sessions. You could have gone there, give those counter facts and say that until we're able to agree on where we are, verifiable by an independent, maybe civil society organization, until we're able to agree on this fact, debt to GDP, fiscal deficit, economic growth, inflation, growth in agri, and so on and so forth, we're not going to make any progress. And then from there, you will then be able to posit or to proffer solutions as to how we can take this country to the next level both in terms of the medium to long term. How was that difficult? So 2 questions in one. Why have you shifted in that position? The principal position of let's all do this because we're Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And then secondly, if you had all these counter facts and counter data to put out there, you could have gone to the economic dialogue and put those counter and then say, well, now that we can agree on this, what's the next line of action?
Moro, we have not shifted position. Our position is we're national about our politics and will remain national about politics. But you don't go and yoke with an individual who says that you have mismanaged an economy, misrepresenting the facts. The data you say counter data, we don't have counter data. Hold on 1 second. We don't have counter data. We just have one data, which data is the president and his government is seized with. They know the data. For example, they want to tell me that they don't know what the gross international reserve is.
It's a fact. It's out there.
Don't they know that?
Yes. It's undisputable.
Yes. So why is it mischaracterizing the economy that this is economy?
Based on the same logic.
Hold on.
Based on the same logic.
No, let me answer your question.
Please go ahead.
So you left a gross international reserve of 6.2 billion in 2017, which is approximately about 3.5 month cover of import.
Yes.
And you are inheriting a 9 billion gross international reserve, which is about 4 months. Okay? 3.5 and 4, which is better. Okay? You that individual, you that president cannot describe what you are inheriting, which is better than what you left as criminally handled.
Okay.
If you come to GDP, the same thing. Okay? The one issue they will talk about is inflation, but if inflation you see from where it came from in 2020.
Richard, we'll get there.
Yeah, but I'm making the point to you. I'm answering your question. So maybe those 2 examples.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But the point I'm making, which you are referring to as having shifted in a position, I'm saying that you don't go and yoke with an individual who is mischaracterizing your capacity to host this.
How then, Richard, I beg you. If I don't ask this, I'll forget.
Okay.
How then, at the time, were you expecting the same NDC that you had also described as worst managers of our economy? In fact, you had consistently said that John Dramani Mahama did not solve Dumso. In fact, even in yesterday's...
Can you stay with the tax exemption?
No, it's part of the economy.
No, stay with the tax exemption.
No, there's a certain... maybe you can get an import of my question. The import of my question is this.
I get it, but the tax example is specific, so let's stay with that.
That's what I'm saying, that we, in fact, from here, after this conversation of the national dialogue, we're going to come to the state of the nation.
Right.
And then you can do the banter, as the 2 political parties do at the time. But I'm saying that there's a certain principle you're trying to espouse. Your logic is that do not yoke with somebody who doesn't mean well.
Yeah.
Yes. Simpliciter.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm saying that based on that same argument or that same logic, you, at the time when you were in government, I said all sorts of things about the NDC in terms of how poor they are with their, management of the economy, and you were quick to add. Just a second. You were quick to add the poor management of the energy sector.
Yeah.
How then were you expecting the same NDC you had demonized to come on board as a collective, as one people, and pass those tax exemptions you wanted for those same companies? That's the question I'm asking you, because you're saying that, and I'm asking this question based on the logic you have espoused.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Whether amongst the 3 of us here, if you choose one to pray, okay, and your preference is for my senior to pray,
right?
But then I say, I want to pray, and I end up praying.
Okay.
Even though you didn't prefer me to pray,
yes,
but I prayed. Won't you say amen? Or
I'll say amen. No,
you say amen.
Yeah, you say
right?
Amen. Yes.
Essentially, that's the point.
Okay.
So you cannot come to Parliament and say you agree on industrialization, which they have indicated that they will continue 1 district, 1 factory.
Yeah.
You cannot tell us you agree on industrialization, okay? But then when the policy drive for that industrialization to be achieved comes before you, you say you don't. That is intentional wizardry.
Okay.
That is you deciding that you want to hurt the country. Because despite the fact that we disagree on one thing or the other, this is a matter that you agree on. You yourself, your own principle. You can't bite your own finger or bite your nose to, or I mean, like what I'm trying to say.
But every party believes in industrialization. It would always come down to the how.
No, but I'm saying I mean the how is Why? How do you drive industrialization if tax exemption is a matter of opinion? It cannot be a matter of opinion. It's a sure policy. Okay. It's a proven element of driving industrialization. Okay. So you cannot debate that aspect of it. Right. So it's a clear matter. I'm saying that...
You know the Lativanda point?
Yes, I'm coming. Inviting us to come there, you must recognize what we have done. To be superior to what you have done, which is a matter of fact. No, I just told you, it's a matter of fact. Okay, the difficulties notwithstanding, presents the fact as is. We don't have a counter data that is different from what he should have.
Okay. Doc, I'll come to you.
You understand? So the point is quite simple. No, I think we didn't go because they are not acting in good faith, and the whole thing is an optics.
So Neil Lativanda, first of all, says hello.
Say good morning to
him. He's
congratulations. Congratulations to him. Yeah.
He's the chairman of DRIP.
Yeah.
He's a big man. Yeah. No, he's a powerful man.
No. That's something he can do well. Okay. But his capacity, he can do even bigger stuff.
Bigger stuff.
But that, I think you handle
maybe that's just the beginning.
No, you handle it well. I'm quite confident.
Well, Honorable Neil Lativanda, but
if he's going to say something adverse, don't read it.
Oh, no, it's not adverse. It's not adverse. In fact, he wants to enrich your submission. So he says, Moro, please tell Anyagba that no one enjoyed water. You see? No, but that has enriched. It has enriched the point you're making. It says no one enjoyed water and electricity for free. And that those deceptive lies have sent them to a position. And he's still living in that mud of lies. We all were made to pay for those utility services. The MB didn't do anything significant in the first term of Akufo-Addo. They benefited from the NDC's prudent but difficult homegrown IMF policies. Let me also quickly, Ambassador Spiale.
I told you.
He says hello. He also says enjoy your submission. And now you're a very powerful man. And we should have you on the show every day.
I told you.
Charlie, the first I give you is not small.
No.
But he continues. No, but he continues. Okay. But he continues. And says, nobody said COVID did not affect the global chain. But in the case of Ghana, COVID was used to steal money. They used the COVID as a smoke screen for destroying our economy. Why is the MP so obsessed with tax exemptions? Nobody got free water and electricity in Ghana. The payments was just deferred. But eventually we paid. Again, they used that for more political propaganda. Why was the MP not at the economic dialogue to make their stale point on industrialization a function of only tax? Oh, no, okay. Stale point says, is industrialization a function of only tax exemptions?
It's a key plank of it. It's a very key
plank. No, he doesn't disagree. He says it's not the only.
Yeah, but that's essentially what you want to do.
McLean from Shiwi also says that tomorrow, our economic situation improved significantly to the extent that public funds can now be allocated to religious obligations. If the economy is indeed stronger, then a mere 10% salary increment for workers is an insult to the Ghanaian workforce. Okay, so McLean, you are still talking about this 10% salary matter. Hey, Asamo, if the economy is indeed stronger, then okay, so he says, but if the economy remains fragile, as the NDC government has often claimed, then using over $60 billion to construct Hajj village. Oh, actually, we're not talking about Hajj village now. Okay, but I guess
that's a bigger point. Let's go.
Yeah. So let's go. It says using over $60 million to construct Hajj village raises serious questions about policy consistency and fiscal prudence. Can what was deemed economically reckless yesterday suddenly become wise governance today? Ghanaians deserve a clear explanation of the economic benefits of both the Hajj village and the government's pre-finance of the particular project. Are these projects generating? Okay, so this one is a particular reference to the Hajj village. We haven't touched on that yet. So when we do, I'll read this message you've just sent to us. So my sincere apologies to us so that we are not distracted, But yes, Doc, you heard it all.
No, I heard him very well. He spoke very well.
And you agree with him?
As usual.
Yes.
And I agree
with him. That's the preamble.
Yes, and I agree with him with most of the things he has said, except that I would like to at least clarify certain things.
Okay.
He said that we are already aware of the challenges.
Yeah.
But JM didn't call the group, the experts, to come in to tell him the challenges.
Yeah. In fact,
he invited them
when I read the story.
to propose what we should do better. And he wants to bring everybody on board. Just like they were seeking to bring everybody on board for us to give tax exemptions. Yeah. We're also seeking to bring everybody on board to prefer proper policies that will help. If tax exemptions comes out to be the way forward to industrialize, then perhaps we'll understand that it is a best way to go. One thing that he said that is very interesting is that Ghana is not the only place that COVID came, but we have challenges. It's true, but the same leader of their party told us in 2016 that Ghana was not the only country that Ebola and other things came to disrupt.
Yeah.
That it didn't affect Cote d'Ivoire, it didn't affect Burkina, it didn't affect Togo. COVID-19 really affected the entire globe. Ghana was affected, but as the Milante said, Sampi Yale said, COVID gave us a lot of benefits, but it was misused by their government. They projected to use 12-something billion to solve COVID, but at the end they had 20-something billion. To an extent that the excess was used for party members to campaign in 2020, i.e., Sanargu parliamentary candidate. I was not the one who said it. She claimed that they used some of the money. They used some of the money to go and rent an uncompleted building at Adaklu to quarantine COVID-19 patients. Could that be used to really quarantine COVID-19 cases? That was a loss for us. A place that could have generated money because of COVID to Ghana at the airport, testing for COVID, they gave it to a foreign person, a company that has never gotten any expertise about it. He made millions and took it away. Those were all monies that we should have gotten. They have taxes for water. My village woman who buys anything and they put taxes on it for COVID-19 water and then electricity pays for it, even though he hasn't even got a good borehole in a house to fetch water. But they tax everybody. I, the one speaking, even my hospital water pipe was cut by Ghana Water Company, and I had to go and fight them. But I'm paying for the COVID-19 water. I'm paying for the COVID-19 electricity, even though I use generator almost all the time. I pay for it. So I want to tell him that, yes, COVID came, but COVID didn't destroy Ghana. It is your incompetence in managing the COVID-19 crisis that causes even allowances that were meant for doctors and nurses for risk. Some of them haven't gotten, but ministry, let me come.
The World Bank praised them for the way they've handled COVID.
They praise them for definitely they'll praise.
Okay.
Because if you come out with a policy on how to manage it, they'll praise you. Okay. But we are saying that even though they manage it well, they overspend to manage it well. Okay. It's not the same thing buying a Tico at 100,000 than going to buy a Tico at 200,000. It's not the same. Okay. Yes, what they could have used little money to manage it well, but they didn't.
You mean they were inefficient?
Yes, they were inefficient because
in the spending of the
and even when we could have made money, they gave it out to somebody free of charge to make the money and go away. So a lot was wasted. Let me come here. Exemptions. He's talking about the exemptions. The time that we were trying to give these exemptions, that was the time we were in the IMF looking for money. That was the argument of the minority at the time, if I'm not mistaken. You want to give people exemptions. Even you added companies we know they sell iron rods. You want to give them exemption. I won't mention the name. For
2020 we're not at IMF. 2022,
I'm talking of 2020.
But the exemption was brought in 2022.
Yes. But even in 2024, the matter was still bad.
It was still there because they didn't do it in 2022.
Right.
Yeah. It was the same.
You gave one district, one factory exemptions to a hotel as one district, one factory. How would we go and be giving exemption to all those things? These are some of the things that we are talking about. So if you are saying that we didn't help, we didn't support you, let me tell you, COVID-19 and Ukraine has given you a lot of support, but that support has gone into the drain. We have not seen where the money has gone into. All the taxes you've taken from COVID-19, what have you used it for? Even the money to get money for Agenda 111 is a problem. Even money for national health insurance that is meant to help the hospitals, you capped it. You capped it. That money could have been even used for COVID-19, but you capped it and used it for other things that we don't know. Whether it was what you used to bathe in the air or whatever, we can't tell. So you had a lot of resources at your disposal, but you're not able to use them very well. That is why the president is saying that we have to gather all the aspects to come and advise us. If they advise us and we fail to implement their advice, 2028 is coming. But I'm sure we'll take their suggestions on board and we'll implement it. What they have to do is to join us. They shouldn't worry. Join us, let's discuss, let's build Ghana, let's let Ghana move forward. And in that way, we'll all benefit from it. But for a fact, you will have benefited a lot. from this country, a lot of taxes, a lot of billions, and you are talking about having left 8-point-something billion as your foreign reserve. What is 8-point-something billion as foreign reserve? They come and do haircut. What is it?
Oh.
No, what is it? You come and do haircut, meanwhile you have 8-point-something.
Which haircut are you talking about?
Didn't you do haircut?
When did that happen?
2024. 2024?
We didn't do 2024.
You didn't do haircut. You didn't do a domestic debt restructuring.
Yeah, not in 2024.
No, it is part of it. That allowed you to get that reserve. You talk about one good thing that has happened. As if the foreign reserve has never grown. The foreign reserve has been growing from time immemorial. If you go and check the records, every year it grows. The population is growing, the businesses are growing, but the economy...
No.
The economy is always growing. Even
it's not automatic.
Under you.
It's not automatic.
Listen, no, let me talk. When we are talking about quiet.
Very well.
When you are talking about quiet.
Go for it.
Under you, economy was good in 2017, and we've said, IMF, the World Bank even said it, that the economy of Ghana will grow in 2016, 2017 at some percentage because of the IMF deal. We all knew of that. It continues growing and started falling. 2019, it dropped. The whole thing started in 2019, even before COVID. And COVID came, and you just use COVID as a what? As a screen smoke to cover all the challenges that you had in managing. I will not use incompetence. You challenge all the challenges, cover all the challenges that you had in managing the economy to say it is COVID. Then COVID was going, then you jump onto Ukraine. Ukraine is even in war and exporting grain to us. Why didn't you use the planting for food and jobs money to make sure that we don't import grain from Ukraine? You were going to Ukraine to even beg for grain. When you have free land, plenty water in Ghana, John Mahama is saying, His Excellency is saying, you are going to recruit a lot of youth and train a lot of youth into agriculture to reduce the importation of food products, to make sure we grow the chicken that we need here, to make sure we cultivate what we eat, and ensure that we have enough and import virtually little. You have this sugar factory, Commander. If you are talking of factories, why didn't you devolve Commander? But you give money to people who are importing motors and assembling in Tamale. And Commander was standing there. And we are importing sugar at what amount? If we are devolved Commander, help the use planting for fruit to grow sugarcane. To grow sugarcane, Commander would have been working, farmers would have gotten job to do and take care of their families, and then the factory would have gotten sugarcane to produce sugar, will reduce our importation of sugar into the country, and that will strengthen our city. You didn't see sense in that. So to me, really they had a lot, but there was a lot of mismanagement. That's why the president is saying that it was criminally managed, because you don't give a tax waiver to a hotel as a one district, one factory. What is it going to manufacture there? Okay. What is it going to manufacture in a hotel?
All right.
My brother.
Richard, we have just 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. I mean, the economy is more important than anything. I hope what else you want to discuss?
What time is up actually?
But
unfortunately, we cannot discuss the state of the economy. But a quick rebuttal to him.
Yes. I mean, you can save that for Tuesday. We'll come back and discuss.
That's fine.
Because what they are talking about.
I was going to talk about a state of the nation address.
State of the nation, Well, we presented a true state yesterday. We'll have a few minutes. You can talk about it. Look, you see. My brother is talking about the problem started in 2016, economy growth. 2016, the economy didn't grow. All the time.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said they projected 2017 for it to grow.
When you are in power, the economy can grow.
You said the reserves have always been growing over time.
Yes. So when you are in power, the economy cannot grow. That's what you're saying. So that IMF says that 2017 MBP is coming, so we'll grow. And indeed, it grew.
The economy grew. Well, that's a spin.
No, it's not a spin.
You say that when the end is...
See, Moro. You were saying earlier that this is a place you want to give facts and figures, right?
Yes.
So look at the economic growth from 2013 when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took office. The economy was contracting from when he took over all the way till 2016 when he left.
Power crisis.
Power crisis.
We knew.
How did it come about?
Everybody.
How did it come about?
From the time of Kufuor.
No. But Kufuor's economy was not contracting. Kufuor's economy was not contracting.
He was under
almost 4 years of power crisis.
But wait.
So Kufuor's 1.5 years.
No, just hold on. Talk about power crisis.
Yes.
When they came in office, the economy grew in 2009, 10, 11. Actually, they reached the height of 14% GDP. Correct? On the back of the oil. Yes. And on the back, and the mill.
JM as the economic head of
the economy. Okay, no problem. So he's at the intersection of the problem that is coming. So you see, at that 14% on the back of oil, commercial oil production.
Yes.
From then on, the economy started declining 2012, 2013, 2014, all the way to 2016, declining, contracting, all the way. And they were forced to go to IMF in 2015.
Yes.
No COVID, no Russia-Ukraine war, nothing. They were just there, couldn't manage the thing collapsed right in front of their eyes. They went to Senchi and all of those things didn't materialize. Okay? The economy collapsed. Today, they left the economy, they came to pick up an economy disrupted by COVID and all of that, but that economy is growing. Then he's saying to you that in 2016, the economy was projected to grow in 2017. Why not in 2016? All the targets that IMF set for them, I'm coming.
That's what's a projection.
What I'm saying, I'm saying that the projection doesn't, I mean, you think that if there was a projection and they left the economy to be, it would just grow because somebody projected it?
My understanding of projection is that it won't really matter who is there.
Yes.
That's not true. That is not true.
When I grow, when I grow,
when
if
you
I
came,
grow,
it went down.
all that needs to be done is just water the thing.
Don't be making that rationalization. Hold on. Senior, hold.
Yes.
When you're making that rationalization when you sit in a TV station or radio station,
Yes.
you can decide to go home and program Good Morning Ghana to play the rest of the night, isn't it? But once you have that capacity, if you are going home and you don't program for it to play till...
It won't play.
It won't play.
Yes.
So you can't say that projection, so therefore...
No, the much of the work has been done.
No, but you have to press...
There was a whip.
But you have to press...
There was a whip.
You have to press the button.
IMF was whipping them in line.
Senior,
There was a whip.
IMF
was whipping them in line in 2017.
It's okay, fine. But you have to press the button for it to play.
Yes.
If you don't press it, you can't just say that it will play, so it will play. No, you have to do it.
Right.
And so it's not a question of it will happen naturally. It was because we came, we managed, we were disciplined about the economy. And that's sure we got that. Okay. And that continued. Now, in fact, he was saying that the whole problem started in 2019. It's not true. 2019, this same economy was problematic in 2019. Was described the fastest growing economy in the world. Okay, not by us. Described the fastest growing economy in the world by the World Bank. That same economy is talking that had problems in 2019 was the economy that surpassed Nigeria. Hold on, Senior, just hold on.
You see now, he's relying on INF to say that they projected that they are the fastest growing economy in the world.
Said World Bank.
But he's not accepting that they projected that Ghana's growth, economic growth will grow in 2017. In one breath.
You established a rule.
At this juncture, let me project that if we don't end the conversation, they'll take us off.
I'm just concluding.
In 30 seconds.
Yes. So you see, you establish a rule that no interruption. So I'm saying that that same economy in 2019 was described the fastest growing. That same economy was the economy that surpassed Nigeria in foreign direct investment. What is the indication of that? That the economy is attractive. People are projected the future of that economy to continue growing. So investors had confidence to come and invest here in Ghana. But for COVID, Ghana would have taken off to unprecedented
heights. But you also remember in the same 2019 was when the NDC were complaining a lot about your trajectory of borrowing, and that if you didn't stop borrowing at the rate at which you are borrowing, we're going to land us in.
But the NDC stopped complaining. They complained in 2017, they complained in 2018, they are complaining in 2019. So as for NDC complaints, that is not a policy issue you can say disrupt or add value to the trajectory of the economy.
You remember when the DDP happened?
They were obstructive.
The NDC told you,
but I'm just saying,
I told you so.
Just 30 seconds.
Just a quick.
Just 30 seconds.
No, just 1 second. Okay. So the point is that now they are in government.
Yes.
I am not in government.
Yes.
We want to see that. We talk about Commander Sugar Factory. They're fine and good. They should make it work
so
for
fix
us
the problem.
See.
Fix the problem.
Yes, fix the problem.
All right.
No, just
no more talk.
I am happy IMF told us that it was the fastest growing economy in Africa.
World Bank
in 2019.
Okay.
They had all the resources they could garner.
Yeah.
Why is it that it performed worse under COVID, and those that didn't have that possibility performed better than this?
So we can end here. A rhetorical question. Richard Hiagba is the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. Thank you so very much, Richard, for keeping faith with this program. It's always here every Tuesdays, unless, of course, you have some other very critical, appointment to attend to. But otherwise, he's here most of the times on Tuesday. He's the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, a very good friend of the show. And also Dr. Thomas Anaba is the MP for Garo. He's a private, in fact, he's a medical practitioner as well. And
what is it, local name?
So I want to say a big thanks to you for joining us this morning. My name is Aldo Moro. Once again, Ramadan Mubarak to my Muslim friends who are observing the Ramadan. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Celebrating hard work, commitment, dedication, and impact. The Metro Sport